Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a fun skull mason jar for Halloween. Start with a small glass mason jar and some white paint. I really like to use folk art marbling paint because it already has a really good consistency to flow around the inside of the jar. You can use any other kind of acrylic paint, but this is my personal recommendation. So pour a small amount of the paint into the jar and then rotate the jar around until the paint completely coats the interior of the jar. Once the paint has completely coated the inside of the jar, then you want to let it drain over like a trash can or a paper towel until all the excess paint has drained out, and then let it completely dry. Once the white paint has completely dried, you can replace the lid on what is now the bottom of our skull jar and get to painting the spooky skeleton face. Start by painting 2 large circles with black craft paint at the top of the jar. These are obviously going to be the eye sockets of the skull. I found that with any type of craft paint that I've used for painting mason jars, you typically need 2 coats of any black paint or any white paint to make sure that you don't have like really thin spots. You still may have a little bit of thin spots in your final piece, but I don't think that's too big of a deal. After you've painted the 2 large circles, you'll want to paint the nose cavity, and you do that by painting an upside down heart in the middle of the face. Finally, you're going to add the teeth of the skeleton. Begin by painting a thin, straight, horizontal line for the mouth, and then small arches to represent the teeth. Finally, add some brackets on either side of the face of the skull, sort of to give it the impression that there is a cheekbone there. You can skip this step, but I think it really makes it look more like a skull. You can stop here and have a really cute painted skull mason jar, but I'm going to show you one of the 3 ways that I decorated my skull mason jar. I took a length of orange ribbon and I used some hot glue to turn it into a simple bow so that I could create a cute little bow tie for my skeleton man. I wrapped another length of the orange grosgrain ribbon around the perimeter of the lid of the mason jar, and then I added the bow tie right to the center of it. Finally, I used a few small circles and a strip of black craft foam to make a miniature top hat for my skeleton, and I glued that on top of the jar so that he looked extra dapper. If you would like to see the other 2 ways that I decorated my skull mason jar, head over to the blog, and I will have a link for it in the description box below so you can see how also to turn the skeleton mason jar into a glamorous witch or into a traditional sugar skull. Please give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. Click the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new videos. Visit me on my blog, maddencrafts.com, and thanks so much for watching. Bye!